Alright, what is up, you guys? I'm here with WWE, The Road is Jericho, Epic Stories and Rare Matches from Y2J. So, before this we had Breaking the Code, which was the documentary treatment. And this one is a compilation of different matches and then little segments in between with different stories, which is really cool. I've heard a lot of people hate this DVD. I've heard a lot of people like it. I'm kind of in the middle. I think it's a cool concept. And it's a good match listing and then some good stories, so I think it's a good set. So, obviously, you have Chris Jericho there in the back of the car. It just sounds like a network show, The Road is Jericho, like he would just be telling stories of his travels, but this was a 2015 release. So we have a very cool shot of him in the jacket there, and a 7-hour runtime. And you have matches and stories from ECW, WCW, and WWE. Opening it up here, we have him and Shawn Michaels from Raw, and then him and Bray Wyatt from Raw. Steel cage match, of course. And going in here, we have really, really cool artwork. I really like this. You have a old school Y2J. I love it. And then it kind of goes through his career here. You have like the late 90s, early 2000s, more ruthless aggression era, and then your modern era. And very bright, nice disc art, like really cool colors. Alright, so the listing we have, I'll name the segments as well. We have I Don't Take Time Off, and then a big title win. On ECW, Chris Jericho versus Pitbull 2, Wrestle and Romance. And then we have Chris Jericho versus Ultimo Dragon. The Chains Come Off. Chris Jericho versus Dean Malenko. That's always going to be a good match regardless. Steel Cage Match versus X-Pac. Scalding Water from the Coffee Machine. Chris Jericho versus Kane, Last Man Standing match. Things Go By Fast. The WWE title, Chris Jericho versus Stone Cold with special guest referee Mick Foley. DiCaprio. And then we have Chris Jericho versus Booker T. Disc 2, A Refugee Camp. Chris Jericho versus Kurt Angle. A Dastardly Finish. Chris Jericho versus The Rock. The George Harrison of WWE. And then Chris Jericho versus Triple H, Undisputed title. The X Factor. And then Chris Jericho versus Jeff Hardy, 2003. Injury Prone versus Edge on Raw. The Last Man Standing match, Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels from 2008 on Raw. Excellent rivalry, one of the best. Then we have dark matches. Street Fight for the World Heavyweight title versus John Cena, which was a dark match. The Bash versus Rey Mysterio, very famous match. Then we have Raw, the Triple Threat Tag Team match. Chris Jericho and Big Show versus John Cena and The Undertaker versus DX. This is Where You Can Live Forever. It was before that. Wardrobe Malfunction and Crowd Participation. And then we have Extreme Rules, Chicago Street Fight versus CM Punk. Very good match as well. I'm Your Guy. And then Chris Jericho versus RVD. Another great one. Something I can sink my teeth into. Steel Cage Match versus Bray Wyatt on Raw. And then Night of Champions, we have the Stairway of Heaven, and then Chris Jericho versus Randy Orton. And great opponents, great moments. And you can see here it just says Y2J across. Like I said, very cool. So, it has a pretty good match listing. I would say that this one's not as good as Breaking the Code. But this one's more just a shits and giggles set. Just something to watch. Something, something not to take too seriously. Like, it's not the documentary and stuff like that. But, I would recommend it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of this one. This has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.